Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to go through the process of how we can make this photo gallery application in Flutter using Flutter and the Pixel API. And we're actually using the package called Flutter Staggered Grid View. So let me show you that. So this is the package that we're using. Let me move this a bit. We're using this package to get this design. Then we're using this API to get these images. So let me show you so you can simply just type pixel and you click on the first link. So it's pixels.com. I don't know how to pronounce that, if it's pixels or pixels. So you can simply go here. So once you go there, it will prompt you to sign up. So you can come here and join. Then once you join, you can go and get started. Then you generate your own API key. So I've already done that on my part. So let's go back to the application. So with this application, when you when you scroll down, when you reach the number of images that it has fetched, so it will start fetching for more images. So this is like an infinite scroll sort of an application as well. So as you can see, new images have been fetched. So when you keep going down, it will keep loading new images. So yeah, this is what we're going to make. So with all this said, let's get started. So I've opened up a brand new Flutter app and I'm going to clear out all the code going on here. So here, we're going to call the home screen. So let's go here. Let's create the folder called home screen. Oh, folder code screen for the code screens, I mean. And then inside there, we'll create a file called home screen. So home screen dot. Then this is going to be a stateful widget. So simply write home screen. Then here we'll remove this, we'll retain a scaffold. So get the upper. So we've given it a style and the color of orange, the shade of 300. Then font size, we've given it 20. Then the font weight, it's 500. So here, the next thing we're going to do is just center this text. You can simply just come here on the bulb, then center it. Then here in the main dot, you can just simply retain the home screen. So we can come here, let's write home screen. Then we can reload this. All right. So we can just remove this debug banner there. So say debug. Okay, false. We will set it to false. Then we can come back here. So here we're going to give the up bar a background color. Simply just say background. Sorry about that. Just simply say colors black. Then we reload that. All right, so let's go and create a model. So let's go and create the folder called model. So we actually use models to structure our data for the application. So we say dot. Then here we simply just create a class and we call it photo. So inside here we're going to have 4 variables: one for the ID, photographer, image, URL, and photographer URL as well. So let's do that. Okay, so we'll do this. Then down here we'll create a constructor. So say photo. Then in here we're going to require all the variables that we have here on top. So simply say required this .id. Then we separate it with a comma. So required this to photographer. So we simply do this for the remaining two. So without wasting much time, I will just fast forward it. All right, so like that. Okay, let me format this. All right. So down here, we're going to have a factory function that's going to parse the JSON data. So let's do that. So say pass JSON. Then down here, we'll simply say factory. Then we'll say photo dot from JSON. Then we say map. Then here we're going to have a string and dynamic. I'll explain this in a bit. Okay. So we use this factory constructor to fetch data not to fetch data, I mean to create an instance of data from an external source. So in this case, we're getting this data from the API, the Pixel API. So let's do that. So in here, we're going to return photo. So that's it. Let me format this. So in here, we'll use this JSON from making here. So we'll do this. Then we just put JSON here. You should remember to put these in quotation marks. So let's go here. So here, in case we don't find the ID, we can just set it to 0. In here as well, we can simply just say unknown then here we're getting the source, and this is the size of the image. So it can be medium, large, or anything. So we're using medium for this one. And for here, we just this is now, we just return an empty string. Do the same here as well. Okay, so we're done with the model and the structuring of the data that we'll receive from the API. So one other thing that we just have to clear out here is this. We simply put an underscore here because that's the response that's coming from the JSON, from the API. I mean. So the next thing is we're going to create a folder called services. And we simply say API services dot. So the API service is actually responsible for the API communication in your application. So let's come here, API services. So what it would do is it will act as a communication medium between the external API and your application. So here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have an API key. So if you had created your Pixel account, obviously you'll get an API key. I won't show you my API key in this video. So let's say static, then it's going to be of type string. Then we'll say API key. Then I'll put my API key here. Okay, so don't leave it blank. You should use your own API key. So down here, the next thing is we're going to have a base URL. So that's my base URL. So the next thing is we're going to have a function. Let me go down here. So static feature. Then this is going to have a list. Then we're going to get the photos model. So photo, then we import that on top there. Then we give it a function. So we simply say fetch photos. So here we're going to have two variables. One, which is going to be, we're going to see the page number, so which is going to be the first page. Then here we have to deal with pagination as well. I don't know why I keep writing enter. So we say per page we are going to get 15 photos. Okay, so this is going to be an async function. And by the way, this is going to allow us to customize the API requests that we'll be sending to the Pixel API. So you'll see that in a bit. So in here, let's have a URL. So URL, then, but before we do that, let's go to the packages, because we have to install a specific package for us to be able to access the API and make requests to that. So here, we're going to come down here. Then I think let's just search for it. So search for HTTP package, then we just simply go there. Then we simply go on an installation. So here we just pick this, the second command. Then we go and come here. Then let's go inside the terminal. Then just paste it there. Then when we run it, we'll see it on page on line 39. So let's wait for that. All right, so as you can see, the package has been added. So let's go here. So here we simply use the URI. Then we parse. So inside here is where we're going to put the URL. So we'll say, we'll get the base URL. So we'll say base URL. Then after that, then we'll get the curated, then say page. Then we give it the page. We give it the page, this page that we've made here. So in this case, we're just getting the first page. So, and then we say end. Then we also use this. We'll say the page. So per page. Then here we'll give it this per page, of which is going to be 15 photos per page. Okay, so we'll simply do this. Say the page. Okay, so there we go. Then here we're going to create a variable that will get the response from the request we're going to make to the Pixel API. So say response. Then the response is we're going to await. Okay, so get this HTTP. Then we have to import this, because this is the package we were just from installing here. Okay, so let's go on top here. Say import. Say HTTP dot, then we get it as HTTP. You see, so that error is gone. So here we're going to send a get method. So get. Then here the first thing is, sorry. So let me put this on a different line. So do this. So we're going to get the URL we're from creating on top there. So here, then the next thing is we're going to say give it headers. So this is used to provide extra information to the server. So in this case, we're going to get the authorization. So authorization, then we'll get this API key. So you have to fill this up with your own API key. Don't forget that. So simply call it here, API key. Okay. Then we'll give it a semicolon down here at the end. Then we test the response we're getting. So response.status code. So if it's equals to 200, which means it's okay. So if that is true, then we say final data. We create another variable called data. Then we're going to decode the response that we will get from this GET request that we're making to the Pexel API. So we're simply going to say JSON decode. Then in here, we'll simply say response.body. So next, we're going to convert the list of raw JSON objects and then into a list of photo objects. So we're getting this response, then we're converting it to into a list of photo objects. So say final here, I would say photo. So photos. Then in here, we'll do this. So we say data. In here, we'll say photo. Photos as list. Then we say dot map. Okay. Then inside the map, we say photo. I can't type. Photo. Then we get the photos model. So it's a photo. Then we get, sorry about that. So we get the photo. Then we say from JSON. Then in here, we're simply just going to say photo. Then down here, we just convert it to list. Then if this doesn't work out, if this returns an error, we can throw an exception. Then in here, we simply say I failed load. Okay, and we still have an error, so we can just simply come down here and just return photos, the photos that we will get from here. So that error is gone. So now we can go back to the home screen. So here we're going to come on top there. Then we're going to create a ScrollController. Simply say ScrollController. Then we say ScrollController. So next, we're going to have the variable for the current page. Then set it to 1. Then next, we're going to have a list. So list, and it's going to be for the photos. So photo, we get the photo model. Then come down here and say photos. Then we set it to a blank list for now. And by the way, don't forget to put your API key here. I haven't put it yet because I want to keep it private. So let's come here. So the next thing is we're going to make a boolean. So say to check if it's still loading. So say bool, and simply say is loading. Then you set it to false. The next, we're going to have a function to fetch data. So here, the thing is, well, this is going to be a future function. So say future void, then we say fetch photos. It's going to be an async function as well. So the first thing is we're going to check if his loading is true. no, yeah, we'll have to check if it's loading. Then we say return. Then we're going to have a set state. So inside the set state, we're going to set it to true. Say is loading equals true. Okay, then next we're going to have a try and catch. So try, then we can just give it a catch already. Catch. Then in here as well. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a new variable called new photos. New photos. Then we're going to await the API services. So we're going to get these services. So API services. So we import it. Then we simply say fetch photos. So we get the fetch photos from there. So inside here, we're going to have a page. So page, of which is just going to get the current page that we have here. Okay. Then next, inside here, we're going to have a set state. So set state. So inside the set state, we'll use this list that we created on top there. So list photos, dot add oh. Then we say what it to new photos. Just like that. Then the next thing is we have to increment this current page plus plus. So next we go inside the catch. So inside the catch, we are simply just going to print out the errors. So we say error. Okay, then we're going to have a finally. So finally. So inside the finally, we're going to set the state of the is loading to false. So set state. Let's say is loading, then we set it to false. So immediately when the app launches, we're going to have to call this function. So we're going to do this by using an initial function. So we say init, say init state. So inside the init state, we're going to have to call this function, the fetch photos. So fetch photos. The next, we're going to have an if statement. So we say if, then we use the ScrollController. So if the scroll of if we reach the end of the currently fetched number of photos on the page, it will fetch more photos. So with that, we're going to have another function down here, of which we're going to say load more photos. So let's firstly write the if statement. So ScrollController dot position dot pixels. Okay, then we say if it's equal to scroll controller dot position dot max scroll extent. Then in here you just simply call load load more photos. So here, let's go down here and create the load more photos, which is going to be of type void. So say void load more photos. Then inside the load more photos, we're going to call the fetch photos function again. Say fetch photos. Okay, so here we go. So for now, let's create the body since we have the up bar already in here. So let's give it a few commas here. Then outside the up bar, we're going to have a body. So here we're simply going to say photo. So if the photos dot is empty, then we get the this progress circular progress indicator. Then we can just simply center this. So we go here and wrap with center widget. Okay, so if we have data inside the photos list, so this is that photos list that we made on top here. So let's go back. So if we have data in here, we're going to put that data inside the masonry grid view. So simply say masonry. So grid view, and then we say the builder. So this automatically imports it on top here. So this we're getting it from the Flutter Staggered Grid View. So let's go down here. So inside here, we'll just format this. So here we're going to give it a controller. So controller, then we give it the ScrollController that we made on top there. Then inside the grid delegate, we're just going to put a sliver simple. So we're going to use the sliver simple grid delegate with fixed cross-axis account. Then we give it 2. Then we come down here on the item builder. So we just clear that out. Okay. So inside the item builder, we say context. Then we give it an index. So here we'll create this. So here we're going to have a variable called photo. So simply say a photo. Then this is going to get the list photos with the expected index. So index. Then down here we just return hero. So hero. Okay, so the tag is going to be a photo ID. So it's a photo dot ID. That's the tag. So let's format this so that it looks clear and readable. So let's bring this down here. So the child of this is going to be It's going to be an image. So say image dot network, because we're getting it from the internet as well. So say in here we're going to say photo dot, then we have to get the image URL. Then we say fit, then we give it a box fit dot cover. Then we come here and give it a comma. So next here we're going to have a loading builder. So let's do this. Loading builder. So inside the loading builder, we're going to expect the context, the child, and the loading progress. So let's do this. So inside here, if we're going to have an if statement. So if loading is in progress, loading progress is equals to now, we return the child. Then if that's not the case, then we just simply return a circular progress indicator. So here we have a typo. I don't know why I can't spell these days. Okay. Then down here we just retain a circular progress indicator. Then that's all. Okay, we just wrap this in our center widget. So we can just come here. So this is center. Okay, let's try to reload this. Okay, so let's wait for this to load to finish loading. So this has given us this error. So let's do this. Okay, let's go down here. So inside this, before we're going to put an item count. So item count, so simply say photo. So photos.length. Then let's repeat that again. Let's do this. Okay, so we're still getting this error. So let's go here. We have to dispose of the scroll controller. So we can come down here and simply say dispose. So inside the dispose, we're going to dispose of the scroll controller. So we say scroll controller to avoid any memory leaks. So dispose, the dispose. So let's try to do this again. Okay, so we'll make this while that is still loading. Let's bring this back. While this is let's do this. Let's come here and remove this. Okay, so inside the if statement, inside the init state function, so we're going to get this. So we're going to simply come inside here and just cut this. We say scroll. We call the scroll animation, scroll controller. I mean, then we get to add listener. Then in here, we simply just do this. Then we paste this back. Then we just give it a semicolon here at the end. So this is what was causing that error. So let's go back here. Then let's reload this. Hopefully this time it runs. Okay, let's wait for this to finish loading. Okay, so there we go. It has fetched the photos. So as you can see, it's all the photos are like attached to each other. So we're going to wrap this inside a padding. So let's go here. We're going to wrap the hero inside the padding. So let's do this. Padding widgets.o. Then let's reload this. Okay, let's wait for that to load. All right, so as you can see, we have some padding and spacing between the photos. So the next thing is we're going to give it a border radius. So to do that, we'll just wrap this. So we'll say wrap with widget. Then we simply wrap it with the clip rect. So clip rect. Then we give it a border radius of 10. Let's give it a comma there. Then let's reload this. Okay, let's wait for that. All right, so we have the border radius around it. So now let's try to scroll down. Okay, let's scroll down. So we've reached the 15 photos reach. So I have to wait for that to reload. So as we can see, it's fetching for more photos. So this is like an infinite loading of photos. So it will keep loading for more 15 photos every time we reach the end of 15 photos. So as you can see, it's still fetching for more photos. Okay, so this is all I had for you guys today, and I don't know, I enjoyed our time together where we had to debug and solve the bugs that we made from our code. So let me explain what we did right here. So in here, we had to listen to the for scrolls. Then if the scrolls reach a certain extent, so which if we go down here, it will fetch for more photos. So this will load more photos, as you can see. And we're actually just calling the fetch photos again, so that it fetches for more photos. So this is all I had for you today, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, you can leave a like button. I usually just do this as an hobby, aside from work. So this is a good catch up point for me, and I'm trying to sharpen my Flutter skills here. So yeah, with all that said, see you in the next video, guys.